Beautiful. Jamie Faye here, Millennial Life and Relationship Coach, and I'm so excited to do this video about non-negotiables in your relationship and when you are dating and searching for a partner and all that good stuff. So, as you hop on, say hi. If you're here from the replay, please say hello. I just want to put a comment on the video while it's happening. Yeah. So, hey, say hi when you hop on. Hey, Elle. So I want to talk to you about non-negotiables in your relationship. So I want to know, what is a non-negotiable? What does it mean for you? What are things when you're searching for a partner or dating, etc., that you're looking for when you're going to say yes? Hey, Katie. What's up? Thanks for saying hi. So think about it. What are those things that you just can't live without? That person that you're going to spend years with, a lifetime with, grow a family with, travel the world with, whatever your vision is for your relationship, what are those things? So take a minute and think about that. You probably are like, oh, I know, they have to be this and they have to be that. Wonderful. So I want to know, what is it? And you're welcome to share 1 or 2 or 5 of them. I'm putting in the comments now some good stuff. Okay, so once you have that list, okay, of non-negotiables, I like to work with my clients in relationship coaching and to really understand what this list means and where it comes from. Because often if you look at your list, so if you're watching the replay, pause this, take a couple minutes to write it down and look at your list. Because Katie, I would love to hear, hey Talia, love to hear where the things on your list came from. Did they come from past bad experiences? Did they come from, your dream idea of the dream man or woman that you had growing up? Or, qualities that your father has or your mother has that you like? There can be a million reasons why we choose these things, but it's really important to look at the list and to understand where it comes from. And then we can decide what on it really needs to stay and what on this list is keeping you from opening yourself up to the right person. Okay, so once you've got the list, I want to know what it is. So if you're brave, share with me 1, 2, or 3, or 5 of those things. And if you're watching the replay and you paused this and you wrote a huge list, then I want you to take a minute to look at it and ask yourself where these things came from, and then take an extra minute to think about what other things are really important. Because I'm going to ask you an important question in a few minutes. Which things are missing? Which things did you forget to think of or write down? So, now that you have a list, you're thinking about it in your head, if you need a lot of time to process, that's wonderful. You can watch the video again and pause it and take that time. So if you're here, please say hi and say where you're listening from, because I know we've got some people in the UK, Israel, and the US, Midwest, I see. So, hey, what's up and welcome. We're talking about non-negotiables in your potential relationship or in your relationship. So say hi when you hop on. Hi. And some people in the desert. What's up? So, when you look at that list and you figure out where these things came from, if they came from, hey, Tamar, I love you too. I really do. Where these things came from, and then understand which things are really important. Which things did you take from past relationships, past traumas, and which things need to stay there, and which things also are really in negative phrasing. So some things like, I will not be with someone can give me something good, but with someone who doesn't take care of themselves. Hey, Amy. So great to have you here. So rather than having in this negative phrasing, I would place it in something like someone who really cares about their physical and mental health, or physical health. I can tell you definitely one of mine, I'm not giving my number 1 yet, I'm going to give that at the end, is, mentally stable. and that's my own definition of what that means. Someone might write like not having mental illness. For some people, that's not an issue, and they're okay with that, and for all kinds of reasons. But for me, like mentally stable is super important. This doesn't mean non-emotional. I'm very emotional, very sensitive human being, so it's not what I mean. But those are things that's one of the things that I really need in my partner. So once you decide what you cannot live with or without, okay, now we're going to go into that huge list. Hopefully you've cut it down a little bit. Now I want to know, like, how many do you think is too many? I want to know from you, if you're here watching now or the replay, I don't have a set answer. There is no right answer. I'll share with you what I think about it, but I want to know, what do you think is the absolute maximum for non-negotiables for a relationship, a serious relationship or a partnership, or whatever that means to you, a committed relationship, choosing someone to be a big part of your life for a long period of time? So tell me what you think, and say hey if you're here. Some people hopped on, haven't said hello yet, so hi, Israel. So yeah, I want someone to answer. I want to hear. For me, I think that around 5 and not more than 10 is a really good number for things that you absolutely cannot live without. Because when you get crazy long in this list, and one of the things I do as a relationship coach is help people understand what they wrote and be more specific and really understand what those things mean to them, so they can design a list that is not limiting but more opening, more setting the stage and intention for who they want to bring in their life. So Katie wrote, must be a complete person by themselves first. Great. Compassionate, adventurous, passionate, should want to be a father someday, and a bonus would be sense of spirituality. That is so beautiful, Katie. What I loved about that is that you wrote a bonus, spirituality, and I would love for you to get more specific and also say what that means for you. If the person, your potential partner, doesn't have to be spiritual, is it important that they respect your spirituality and they don't judge it, and they are open to that, and they will respect that in your relationship with your children? And I love that you wrote would like to be a father one day, because that's super important as a non-negotiable. If you know that you want to have a family, if you're a woman and you know you want to have children, then that's really important. It's also something about adoption. I know some people are really open to adoption. It's really important that they pick a partner who's open to adoption because they want to adopt a child. What I also really love, say hi when you're here, people. We're writing about our non-negotiables. Hey, Talia, thanks for saying hey. I'm just finishing with Katie's comments. Super awesome. I would love for you to expand for yourself, Katie, on complete person first. And what that means, I think I can understand a little bit energetically what you mean, but I would love to know what you really mean by that. Does that mean, because people are whole, but we're always working on ourselves. We're always peeling back the layers and allowing our wholeness, our core, our essence to be here. So I'm trying to just close some notifications so I can see that we're live. Sorry, people. Love you. Stop. Okay. Compassionate. I love that. Adventurous, super important. If you like adventure and that's really a non-negotiable in your relationship, then it should be there. And define what that means for you too, Katie. Thank you so much for sharing. Someone else wrote something. Tamara wrote, this is so interesting, Jamie. I have a list of what I desire, but not a list of negotiables or non-negotiables. I will totally do this. Amazing, Tamara. I'm so excited that I inspired you to do this. And I know that you are a really open person, and I know you won't get too nitty-gritty, and understand really what are those things that you require in a potential partner in order to open yourself and to trust and to really let that person into your life. Amazing. Anyone else? I would love to hear. There's some people on here I know who are married and are getting married, or really in serious relationships and about to make that kind of commitment. So I would love to know from you, what's that one or two things about your partner that was just totally non-negotiable and you got, or something that you're struggling with, you're thinking about, well, I really thought I needed that and I didn't get that. because that's also a great opportunity to reframe and really understand what that's about. So I want to ask you an important question now. If you're on the replay, make sure to say hey to. What are you forgetting? So what I loved about what Katie said is the spirituality, because I often find that in coaching, men and women, but especially women, because women tend to be in typical Western civilization more spiritual than men. If they're women who are secular, which are most of my clients, I have some religious clients, but most of my clients are secular women abroad in America and also here in Israel. And what often they forget is that spiritual aspect that they want in a partner. And what's really important to most of my clients is that their partner either be spiritual and not atheist, or that they just be respectful and non-judgmental of their spirituality and their belief in God or consciousness or the universe or energy or whatever they identify as a greater power, greater thing going on. So that's really important. Another thing are like traditions that are important to you. They don't have to be religious, but like if certain things are important to you to keep in your world, in your life, then that should be, you know, a non-negotiable that your partner will support you in that. Children, big one. I believe world life perspective is huge. If it's important for you to be with a positive person, if it's important for you to be with someone who, like Katie wrote, adventurous or spontaneous, or someone who is going to be, you know, really into equality or feminism or things like this that a lot of people forget. And if you notice, I didn't say anything about physical qualities. Now, some of you might be saying, but those things are really important. And some of you are probably saying they're not important. I know that there's a big gap here. This is what I have to say about that. Attraction comes from within. So yes, there are physical attributes that we might like in someone, but I can tell you that all of my long-term relationship partners have all looked really different. And I loved them all deeply. And I know that whatever didn't work with the ones before my current partner had nothing to do with physical appearance. So I think that it's really not important. For some, I know for some women who are really tall or something like this, it's really important that they be with someone who's taller than them. Or many women like to be with someone who's more grounded in their physical energy than them. And that's okay to understand that, and to understand that if your energy is really airy and water, if you don't know what that means, that's okay. It means you're really involved in your emotions and can be moody and over analytical, that being with someone who's more grounded is good for you. Then write that down. I need my partner to be grounded because I am all over, which I can very much relate to because I am a thinker and an analyzer and a dreamer, a visionary. So I totally get that. So hello, people who have not said hi. Say hello. Say, hey, Jamie, and I'm in wherever. And tell me what you're thinking about this. Do you have a list of non-negotiables? Do you have a list of things that are super important in order for you to find the partner of your dreams, to find a partner, and I mean the dream in a good way, that's really gonna match you, that's really gonna fit and challenge you in all those ways. So I think you're ready for my number one non-negotiable, which will hopefully spark another non-negotiable in you, which many of you might have written or thought about before. For me, my number one non-negotiable is my partner must be open to growth, open and actively working in personal growth and personal development. Why? Well, because I am a person very active in my own personal growth and development all the time, always learning, taking courses, being coached, working with my mindsets, growing, and then I do this for a living. This is what I do all day, is help people with their personal growth. So in their relationships and in their lives. So that is super important to me. And I definitely give my partner credit for being incredibly open to growth and able to, my hair's just swinging all over the place, to working on himself and working on our relationship. He knows that. I've said it so many times that he actually remembers it really well, that I said, you always say that, because it's true. And I really appreciate it in you, and it's something that I really value in someone that I'm going to spend so much of my life living, cohabitating, building a life with. It's super important to me, and definitely one of the reasons why I did not continue with previous partners. So that is my number one non-negotiable. So if you're here, I want to hear from you before we sign off. If you have any questions, if you want to write something in the comments about non-negotiables or why we do this, I'll give you a quick summary so you can think about that and write something. I hope I can see the comments. I think I can, before we sign off. So if you have any question, comment, anything about why this is important. Yes, as a relationship coach, I absolutely think this is important, because if you don't have this, if you don't have a vision, you can really get sidetracked and get negatively distracted by things that don't matter. And you can ignore the things that really matter. That's why it's important. Having a really long list, not my point at all, having a very, very specific, like dehydrated, not a watered down, but a dehydrated list that you can know you've got it all, hey Noam, is the way to go. So before we sign off, if you have any questions, what we talked about is having a list of non-negotiables. What's on your list? What can you live and not live without? How many is too many? If you're just getting here, and you can go back and watch the video. What are you forgetting to consider? Children, spirituality, all kinds of things. Amazing. I'm going to answer. Thank you, Katie, for commenting. I shared my number one non-negotiable, which is someone who is totally open and actively working on himself, which my partner is. So I'm very grateful for that and tell him that all the time. Okay, let's see what Katie said. Katie. I asked Katie before in her previous comment to explain what complete person means for her. So she wrote, complete person means that we could not be codependent. We must be independent, because in past relationships, I find myself becoming too submissive, but this is something in me and not so much my partner. I think attraction comes from within. Yes. Okay, Katie, I love this. So definitely, I think that what you mean is like someone who's independent, has their own life, own hobbies, and is comfortable enough with themselves so that you don't develop a codependency. So what a beautiful, beautiful realization, Katie. And thank you so much for sharing that, because I'm sure that a lot of people can relate to that as something from a past relationship like we talked about that gave you an idea. And also you said, which I really want to say something about, becoming too submissive. So I would go into that, into like, I understand that being with someone who, because you're so connected, they can be kind of controlling, and then you may not even notice that you're being submissive. So I would definitely understand that that's someone who's really okay with themselves, but it's also, I would add, and okay with you having your own life and hobbies and friends and all those beautiful things. Thank you so much, Katie, for sharing. Tamara wrote, yes, Katie, you are so right. I totally agree. But Tamara also wrote something before. Okay, you gave me some ideas. Spirituality, very important, that it's an important part of their life and that it's compatible with mine, that he wants a family someday. Self-development, you said it. You said it beautifully. Open to growth. I totally agree. It's the number one most important part of my life. And amazing. Yay, I'm so glad, Tamar. So thank you all so much. If anyone comes up with something after the video, just write a comment. I want to hear. I really do care. This is like what I'm passionate about and like to talk about. So please share with me. And if you like this video, send me some hearts, comment, say that you like this video, and please share it with anyone you think it would strike some thinking in and they would benefit from it. And if you haven't heard about my Relationship Mastermind, I put the link in the comments. The Relationship Mastermind is a group coaching program. It's currently opening in Tel Aviv and will open online very soon. So if you're watching from abroad, you can still check out the landing page. It has everything you need to know about it. The format, everything you're going to get from it, how it works, all the syllabus, everything about me, everything you need to know. And you can fill out the form and let me know where you are, because it asks what country you're in, and then I will be happy to tell you when another group opens up. It's for women and men. First groups are opening up for women in committed relationships, and then afterwards not currently in committed relationships. So that's that. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your time with me and really getting involved in this live. So I look forward to seeing you soon. Have an awesome day or night wherever you are. Bye.